to see a nice crowd tonight. The first order of business is to approve the supervisors' meeting minutes for January 21 and February 5. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. We'll go to the manager's announcements, please. Who would be there?
At the March 5th work session, we'll have the rescheduled session for the earned income tax with Keystone Collections, where everybody will have the opportunity to ask Keystone Collections some questions, and then we can clarify some issues we've had with earned income tax collection. So that'll be at 6 o'clock. There's a zoning hearing for case 471 on February 27th. At 7:30, and it's for a property on North Mill Road. They are requesting a special exception to permit a home-based pet grooming business in their homes. At the March 18th meeting, I will present the year-end financial have the presentation at the March 18th meeting. And on March 25th, from 6 to 9, we're going to have a special meeting for the Chandler Mill Bridge downstairs here. We will be sending out invitations, postcards for everybody, and it will give everybody a chance to answer their questions, and we'll have some experts here to answer questions. It will be on the website as well, but everybody will get a postcard for that. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. The next order of business is to appoint Kathy Shattuck to the Environmental Advisory Committee. All those in favor?
So moved. Second.
Would you like to vote?
No. Aye.
Just so everyone knows, Kathy Shattuck's been attending and participating as an Environmental Advisory Committee member for probably over 2 years, but she hasn't been officially appointed, and the committee asked that she be appointed.
We're making an honest person out of her. Bob Listerman, we would like to appoint you officially to the Business Advisory Committee. All those in favor? Is there a second?
I'll move that he be so appointed.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we come to a something that's quite fun for me and for a lot of people. I'm going to stand up and wave my arms.
Wait.
You want to do
Oh,
that
never
now?
mind. Go ahead. Sorry. I was ahead of you.
You see here and here the restoration work on a very, very old 1847 map of Chester County. This was presented to the township quite a number of years ago, and I retrieved it, and it sat in the supervisor's room for 6 years until Maggie Ostrom figured out that she needs to plant a foot somewhere where it will get some attention. And Maggie, you have taken that map and you have ushered it through the travails that accompany getting it restored. And that took 3 to 5 months.
7.
And this was done with you and other folks from the Historic Commission, and it's wonderful that you did it. And we have a number. It was given by the John Jackson Woodward family. We have a bunch of trinkets for you. The first one is that this is something we're going to send home with you, and you can put it on the wall. The supervisors of Kennett Township take this opportunity to acknowledge the generosity of the John Jackson Woodward family for their donation of the township to the township of an original copy of an 1847 Chester County map. We also express our appreciation to Margaret Woodward Ostrom for her tireless efforts in the restoration and digital reproduction of this map making it possible to preserve this important document for future generations. And it's been signed by law.
There you go.
Can I have all three supervisors stand?
Stay right where you are. Cameras never work. Borrow my iPhone. All right, now we're ready. All right.
Here's the follow.
Here we have him behind on your right shoulder. We have an expert.
Which is the real map, and which is the
None of them here. There's both that we were talking about. All right, we're about running out of film. Don't go away. You're going to hear from us. We would like to make sure that you also take care of when you go home. I need to ask you, can we get a close door? You want to go over by the map? They think they're going to take a picture of it.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure I was. It's likely that's going to be the only one. A little history of this. Many years ago, when we got the original, it certainly was in bad shape. When Margaret got me to get motivated to look into it, we both took it down into Philadelphia to a world-renowned conservatory, and they started playing with it to make sure that they could get it cleaned with whatever the chemicals are that they use, and it turned out that they couldn't. As a matter of fact, they made some marks on the original that were not terribly good. So we removed it from them and we took it down into Wilmington, and they did essentially what you see here. And this is a digital copy. It is not the original. The original will remain upstairs in the Historic Commission's room, and that would be available if anybody wants to see it. But in order to get it in a condition where it could be displayed, this is what we did to it. And this cost about $4,300 from beginning to end, including all the framing and the cleaning and so forth. And it was really a committee effort. Sarah Meadows helped a great deal, and a lot of other people did, and I don't know that I want to go into the names of all these folks. Most of them are not here. This is a copy. We're going to print more of these for people to purchase if they wish, and we don't know what they're going to cost at the moment. That one, since it was a single one, cost us $74. But if we order a bulk of them, they'll be much cheaper. But they will be for sale, and in due time, fairly soon, we'll let you know what that cost is. And they would be a great trophy to hang. This one will hang in the lobby upstairs. And next to it is going to be this. And I'm going to read it. This is a digital copy created in 2013 of an 1847 Chester County map. Kennett Township still has the original, which was donated to the township by the Woodward family. The township is grateful to Margaret Woodward Ostrom for her effort in this project. And you're in Brad.
May I just make two comments
Sure.
to the audience, because this map is meant for the citizenry of Kennett Township, and when I first started doing the research, of course, like everyone who lives...
Use the microphone behind you.
Like everyone who lives in this area, you go to the Chester County Historical Society first. And there I found this sheet advertising this 1847 map. And they were advertising for subscriptions. And the map, which the original is the size of the one here to my right, was $4. And I just wanted to read to you. It says
In what year, Marge?
well, actually they started in 1846, the whole project. And one writer says, I say I have learned with pleasure that we are to have a map. Not a map to enrich the projectors, for that it cannot do, nor a map which will constitute a mere picture of various colors with parallels of latitude and longitudes, nor a map of minute dimensions, so crowded as to be unfit for reference, but a map of large dimensions, filled with accurate details from recent survey, a map that will do credit to Chester County and to the publishers. And what's so wonderful about this map is it precedes the railroad in 1859. And what it shows are the main roads, principal streams, towns, villages, churches, mills, and inns. $4 at the time. They needed 1,000 subscribers, and they got it. Then I did a little research online. If you want to check this out, www.mapsofpa. And the first Chester County map to be published was 1820. Then 1822. Then a reproduction of the 1822 map in 1830, and then comes the 1847, and it is in 4 colors. So I hope you'll come up and look at the map. I think it's got a lot of interesting things on it. And again, I thank the township for your recognition.
Thank you very much.
Before we move on, I just wanted to point out again, as we did last month, for everybody just to look at the display in the back of the room before you leave that the Historic Commission spent a lot of time on.
All right, we have another thing to do here on our new business agenda. That is to adopt an open space procedure. And this procedure has been worked on by our land advisory people, and it's had a lot of contributions elsewhere. It's been vetted and purged, I think. Scudder, I think you had a good, strong hand in this. And without going into all of the details of it, and it's certainly available to
It's on the
everybody.
website.
Okay, thank you. I would like to move that we adopt this procedure.
I will second it.
Okay, and are there any comments?
Yes, thank you. If I may jump in.
Yeah.
I want to call the attention of all those that are present on this procedure. You see it if you go on the website, but at the very end of it, the landowner applicant should be aware that the BOS will discuss the application at a public meeting. So I think everybody that has been through one of these procedures or processes is aware of the fact that there will be public meeting discussion. But beyond that, and more importantly, I'd just like to ask Tom Nail if he could take a moment and explain what the supervisors and the LCAC have been working on together in this whole process, of which I believe this is the first step.
This is the first step. Well, thank you. Actually, it's a three-step process. What they're passing tonight is a procedure for a landowner to make an application to the township to get either a conservation easement or sell property or whatever. The second step will be the procedure for the actual purchase of the conservation easement or land. And then the third step will be the funding of it. The group is made up of myself, John Larman, and Jim Shivatowski. We've been working very diligently on it, and we want to get the first step passed tonight. Then we will work on what we call Packet 2, which is the procedure for the purchase of it, and then finally, in detail, the funding of it. Are there any questions on it?
Yes, I just wanted to make a comment. It appears as a resident that this is a particularly good unison of all parties to try to do this, rather than often the arguments that we've heard one way or another about different ideas on this whole subject. That it sounds like parties have come together to do
Yeah, we've
this.
had very good cooperation from the supervisors, which we appreciate. And for example, on phase 2, there's a lot of comments from Scudder that we will be incorporating into it and such.
I want to commend them, the supervisors and this committee, for working together to produce something that will benefit all of the township, and that's to be really commended.
So thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
And thank you very much, Tom.
You're welcome, Scudder.
Okay, we have a motion, it's been seconded on the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Lisa, I'm going to turn to you for the resolution.
I think Bob's going to do that.
Bob.
We have two resolutions. Number 2013-7 is to increase our fees for the people using the Kennett Square sewage treatment plant. The borough will raise their fees, and we, of course, have to match that raise, so we stay break even on their bills. So I move we approve resolution 2013-7, raising the fees for the borough treatment plant.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye. 2013-8 is increasing our sewer tapping fees. There have been increased costs, actual annual increased costs to replace it and maintenance costs of the system. Plus, we added 2 other plants during the year. We extended on State Road down to what we call the CarQuest extension, and we replaced a plant on Creek Road. So I move that we increase our sewer tapping fee for all districts to $8,000 per EDU. So moved.
Second.
Okay, are there any questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Are you going to do it?
Yes, please, if you would.
The next one is an agreement for geotechnical and surveying services on Marshall Bridge Road. I announced at the work session, I announced to the supervisors that the stream bank has been eroding the road bank along Marshall Bridge Road. And so we have to do some testing, some boring, to determine if the road is even able to stay open at this point, and what we will do to fix it. There's several options to fix that, but right now, we don't know what those options are until our engineering firm does testing. And I put this online as well. This is, it will cost $9,100 for the geotechnical and surveying service fees.
You want a motion?
Yes.
I move that we accept this contract.
Second.
This contract. Are there any questions?
Yes, for a while.
Yes.
I was just wondering, how long will it take to produce the report?
Well, they said, they would get started as soon as they sign it. I'm looking for Chris Paquette.
Yes.
Do you have any idea how long this will take for Bob Johnson to complete the
Well,
services?
typically, the testing is done with hollow core stem augers, and that material is taken to a lab. That lab testing procedure takes about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So you've got to mobilize the drill rig and take the samples, and then they go to a lab and they take, they look at the engineering characteristics of the soil, and then a proposal will be made to remedy the situation, given whatever the limitations of the soil are.
So we might be about 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, I would say 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Chris, how deeply do they take those cores?
25 feet usually, unless they hit bedrock.
I just one quick question. May I have your name again, sir? I'm Richard Gaw with the Chester County Press.
My name is Chris Burkett, B-U-R-K-E-T-T. I'm with
Okay.
Gilmore and Associates.
Okay, great. And the question I have is, I was actually out there examining the road this afternoon. Is it fairly safe to say at this stage that in the event of a major weather event such as a Hurricane Sandy, that the township would be forced to close the Marshall Bridge Road area, given the severity already of the erosion?
Well, that is a possibility. There's 2 factors at work there. One of them is just the erosion of the bank from beneath, and the second one is drainage problems, where inlets are overrun and then they wash across the road and go down the embankment. So, like, that may be able to be remedied quicker than the actual erosion from the stream, from Red Clay Creek.
Okay.
So, but it is possible that could happen. There's already been, I think if you go out and, if you were out there looking at it, you can see that a lot of the guide rails have rotated out and they're obviously leaning the wrong way.
Instead of into the road,
Yes.
towards the stream.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just a quick question on this. Have we had a chance to talk with our township solicitor as to whether or not, because we've identified a liability, potential liability, that the road needs to be closed immediately until it's resolved?
Yes.
Okay.
And we are permitted to wait until we get the testing back. It depends what the testing says.
Okay.
In the blue, I'm sorry.
Yes, I learned about 3 weeks ago of a sector of, I don't believe it's Marshall Bridge Road, but it's Hoehle Road. As you go down to the Hoehle Road and turn right, I believe that's a continuation of Hoehle Road. A certain curvature in the road where there is a telephone pole, and in the winter time, there is a source of water that comes up from the pole, crosses the road, and becomes very slippery in the early morning especially. And there have been innumerable accidents there, I think since 2000, and some of them very, very, that cause dramatic injuries.
Is that right before Chandler Mill?
Yes, it's just beyond Chandler Mill.
That's a state road, but we can definitely contact them about it.
Yes, well, there have been some issues apparently as to who has jurisdiction and who wishes to do what.
No.
Well, no, that's it's the state road,
Yeah.
we can't touch anything on that road.
That curve, the state has done a lot of remediation quite a number of years ago, such as putting a drain on the uphill side where it would puddle, carrying it across the street and disposing of it there, and they've also made it an easier curve to come around the corner, and furthermore, they have put on the surface of that road a different kind of mixture, and it's a rough coating, and it leans towards skid prevention. It's been working quite well. So that road has been a sore subject, I must admit, and you're right. It's not an easy road at all.
It's true, and there was an accident just about 10 days ago that could have been very serious again. I think it's a question, and I'm not familiar enough with it myself, but if we could at least put a sign of warning that that area freezes over and to be very cautious, I think that would at least do something to make people aware of how dangerous it still is.
the state has to approve that, PennDOT has to approve that, and I can give it the glowingest recommendation, and it may fall on deaf ears.
But we can write a letter to them.
That would be great.
Bill?
Just one more question about the Marshall Road situation. At the last, when this was disclosed, I guess last meeting, there was talk about who was responsible if significant sums of money had to be spent to try to correct this issue. Have we gotten any farther on that determination?
Well, I have called the EPA, so I am waiting for the correct person there who was on vacation last week to call me back, because it is, the stream's theirs and the road's ours, so we're gonna try. I have a feeling what they're gonna tell me, but we're gonna see what we can do.
Okay. The state has no influence here, I guess.
Well, I actually, after I talked to them, I was going to talk to some of our representatives to see if they've had this situation in other areas, because we've never dealt with it before. So hopefully they will.
Would you identify yourself, please?
My name is Marcia Wilkins, and I happened to come because of Margaret tonight.
Well, come more often.
How do you plan to notify then the residents that have to use Marshall Bridge Road? I live in Southbridge. That's how I get out.
We will have to notify everybody by a letter, personal letter.
Okay, and is it the east end that's more compromised, or are you saying the whole road is compromised?
No, they're saying from the bridge down to Bucktoe, I believe,
Yes.
is the portion, right, Albert?
What will happen there, the road has to be closed, and we've been looking at alternatives already. From Hoehle, which is Becker's Bridge, for those of you who don't know it by name, it's Becker's Bridge to Bucktoe Hill will be open. And then from the other side, from Creek Road to past Southbridge will be open. The section in between won't be.
Right.
I understand also that although the whole road has some compromise, there is one section from Hoehle to Bucktoe, and it's been marked with orange markers on the side of the road. So and I think that's only about 100 feet long. I don't remember precisely.
Yeah, it's 90
But
feet.
it's a fairly narrow stretch that is really at the greatest risk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Speaking of odd things that occur on state roads, there's a 6,200 feet road in our township owned by the state called Spring Mill, and many people don't even know where it is, but it's a bucolic road, very, very easily walkable. In the springtime, it's got a plethora of redbud trees, and it's really lovely. And it has the only stone arch bridge in the township. And it's really a treat to just walk there and take a look at it. Well, I was surprised several months ago, somebody called me up and said, PennDOT has posted, they put big chevrons, these yellow, black chevrons on the bridge, and on one of them, on either side, they have put the name of the stream, and they call it Red Clay Creek. Well, it's not Red Clay Creek. It's Burroughs Run, and it always has been, and I hope it always will be. I brought this to PennDOT's attention, and nobody there, called twice, has had the courtesy to return the call, but I'll keep going. Okay, the next item of business. Are you on that, Lisa?
We have two representatives here.
No, okay, yes, go ahead, please.
Ken Schreffler
Right.
and Tom Hoehle
Nobody gets it right.
from the Kennett Area Senior Center. They would like to give a little presentation.
I don't think I need that. You sure I'll be able to hear me? You got everybody to hear me?
Thank you.
My name is Tom Hoehle, and I work at the Kennett Area Senior Center along with Ken Schreffler. And we're here to, Ken's going to tell you about a new program that we have. And I'm here to ask you for your help. And the best way that you can help me and the Kennett Area Senior Center is to spread the word about the Kennett Area Senior Center. I did a lot of volunteer work in Kennett. I did a lot of volunteer work for the Senior Center over the past couple of years. And I used to always say that it's the best kept secret in Kennett Square. And now that I'm working for them part-time, I want to not say that and say we want to be the best senior center in Chester County. And I think we are. We have over 700 members. It's growing all the time. We have over 2,000 people that come in. And I'm just wondering right off the top, because it looks like there's a couple people here that are over 50. How many know where it's really at? Oh, good. Okay. Well, I'm impressed. All right. Well, then I'm preaching to the choir. So maybe you can spread the word to the people that haven't heard that much about it. We only have a couple minutes, so I just want to give you some bullet points. We have over 50 programs that we run every year. Some we run monthly, some we run quarterly, some we only run once a year based on what they are. The biggest programs that we run are usually exercise. We have Zumba, we have aerobic dance, we have line dancing, we have a lot of different programs to keep everybody's heart healthy. We have IT and computer room. We're just starting a new program where we can have these kids come from, children, that come from the high school. Kennett right now is going to start a program where if you've gotten a Kindle from your grandparents, or you've got a phone that doesn't work, or you don't know how to even open it out of the box and charge it up, you can come to our senior center and work with the kids. They'll help you out with those different things. We offer a breakfast Monday through Friday, a wonderful, healthy breakfast. We have a lunch every day. We have Sunday dinners with friends. We have somebody there that's on staff all the time that can help people with Medicare, Medicaid questions, any type of things like that. We have an assistant senior program. It's for caregivers, people that want to have an aunt or an uncle or a loved one and bring them into the senior center and be able to take a respite, be able to take a day or a couple days off. You can bring that loved one to us. We have a staff that's set up to watch those people. There are people that have some beginning stages of dementia. So they're not people that are taking medication or that they have to have nurses, things like that. So it's a wonderful program if you know of a loved one who just needs a little bit of care. We're constantly building relationships. It's not just for seniors anymore. We have relationships with the garage for a lot of you people that know the other volunteer organizations. We have girls come out from the garage that do manicures. We have a relationship with AARP to do taxes. We're doing that. We're helping 400 people do their taxes. On Saturdays, we have Vita, which helps the non-English speaking people do their taxes. And that's all free of charge. We have a relationship with the YMCA. I know this is being taped, so I have to tell the truth. If you join our membership, it's $35 a year. If you pay that $35 a year, you can use the YMCA on Tuesdays and Thursday afternoons from 1:30 to 3. 1 to 3, 2 hours. You can use their weight room, their swimming, all their facilities that you want. And at the Y, I'm not sure what they charge. It's all based on if it's a family or whatever, but that's a nice way to see if you want to join the Y or just use our services along with the Y. We constantly are making relationships with different organizations, with Exelon, with Vanguard, with Unionville high school students, with the Kennett Square high school students. So we're constantly bringing in volunteers to do different projects. We try to make as many different connections as we can with that. So Ken and I think it's the first time since the senior center's been there, and it's been there 30-some years. I think 1974 is when it started. Ken and I are now on a campaign to go out and really, really spread the word to the community. We thought we'd kick it off right here first, since this is our hometown, so to speak. So I'm glad to see there are at least a handful of seniors here, and maybe they can spread the word. Ken wants to talk just briefly about a plan or program called Neighbors in Action.
And before you sit down,
yes.
The breakfast that you were talking about, can anybody walk in, and if they do they pay a fee, and what is that?
They do. Anybody can walk in. It's from 7:30 till 9:30, Monday through Friday. If you're a member, it's $4.75. If you're a non-member, it's $5. I eat there all the time. I'm single. I have to tell you. I mean, it's bacon and eggs, and you can have an omelet. You can have home fries. You can have pretty much anything you want. A fruit cup or juice, and you can stay as long as you want.
Thank you very much.
We also have brochures and stuff back there too. Any other questions before I sit down? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. My name is Ken Schreffler, and I'm the Neighbors in Action Coordinator for the, at the Kennett Area Senior Center. The program was started as a pilot program in 2009. Carmen started working on it part-time, and she does about a zillion other things there too. So, but she got it up to the point where it needed full-time attention, and that's where I came in, started there November 1st. What we're trying to do really is match up volunteers with people that need services throughout southern Chester County. We have a grant through the United Way, through Exelon, and also in partnership with the Department of Aging and Services, Chester County Department of Aging Services. We do transportation assistance. That's probably the biggest area, like taking people to medical appointments and pharmacy, going to the grocery or any kind of stores, even to the hairdresser. We also do light housekeeping, minor home repairs. I have some brochures back there that look like this, and you know, today I was up there with a lady that is hard of hearing, and she needed help with some forms, and I made some phone calls for her to Comcast to get some answers on her bill that she didn't understand. I don't know if anyone else has that question. We won't go there.
You don't want to go there.
Good idea.
There's, you know, one lady doesn't drive. She gets a ride to Westchester, up to Fernhill, you know, once or twice a month. And she said she really appreciates the ride, but she really also appreciates more the companionship and the conversation back and forth. You know, there's another lady that was worried about getting a snow shovel because she didn't want to get fined. And so we had a gentleman that was on call, you know, and he'll shovel her walks for her. You know, we have some amazing volunteers in this township. And I'm from Westchester. I'm envious of this township now. But we're looking for volunteers. We're looking for members, and you know, we're not. It's for any socioeconomic group. We're looking for vendors as well, people that are probably perhaps plumbers or carpenters or electricians or home health care agencies that can help fill. There is a membership to join Neighbors in Action, and it's different. It's in addition to being a member to the Kennett Senior Center. But you know, if you look at the membership, it's a nominal fee. It's based on a sliding scale, and I can get that to anybody that needs to know.
Ken, thank you very much. I will boast a little bit about the volunteers in this township, and I really am pleased. I can boast about it. We have a list of various committees and activities, and I'm going to guess that there are some 75 names, maybe even more, on that list who volunteer for specific things in the township. Planning commissions, historic committee. We have a lot of activity here in the township. So you're right at home. Thank you very much.
Any questions?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on.
I just wanted to express our sympathy to the Klein family. Stan Klein was a resident who lives right up here in Hillendale Road at Greenwood. And for the past 25 plus years, he has cleaned up every day these roads in this township. He walks them every day. All along Hillendale, Greenwood, Burrs Run. And he passed away, unfortunately, at the beginning of the month. So he will be missed. The supervisors will be presenting a little plaque for him.
I'm sure everybody who has ever driven on our roads continuously has seen that man. Often he has a staff with a flag on it. And he picks up
Orange vest.
And he had a heart attack, and after he had his surgery, he called our roadmaster from the hospital bed to tell him he wouldn't be here to clean up the road this week. To let him know he would have to get somebody for the week, so he was very devoted.
Okay, the Roadwork Report dated February 18th of the prior approximately 30 days. A great deal of time has been spent over this past month on light snow and ice removal. Even though there has not been plowable snow, there has been a lot of ice. Our salt stock was drawn down, but we still have a sufficient quantity for various snows and ices. The wooden signs being upgraded to the metal road signs as required by the state. This program is about halfway completed in the township. The yard waste and recycling center hours have been changed to be open dawn to dusk, and signs have been posted accordingly. The speedboard trailer has been repainted and will be soon back out on the township's roads. The wood chipping and road milling program to the public has been successful and is working great. Wood chips are available over at the township garage, as are road millings. Road millings are the stuff that comes off of a road when they take off the old surface to put a new one down. They still have a great deal of binding capability, and if you want them, see our roadmaster about them, but they're quite available. The co-op went out for bid for road materials, and we will be awarding the bids tonight. The township has purchased a new backhoe/loader, which is replacing the old backhoe. The cost was approximately $86,000, including a trade-in. The road crew is working with the township engineer to address stream bank issues along Marshall Bridge Road, and we've talked about that previously. The road crew and police department have been cleaning up graffiti all over the township, and it's just a continuing thing to do, and it's not pleasant. But now you know that we take it seriously.
And on the wooden road signs, we are saving them at the maintenance garage if anybody wants the road sign for the road you live on.
Come quickly. Go ahead.
Regarding the signs, are you replacing the wooden road signs in the private developments?
No. If it's a private road, no.
Okay. So Victoria Gardens, which is private, so you're not going to be in there. Okay.
Well, I have a concern about that though.
Uh-oh.
Because I had asked our state rep about that, if we're required to do it in the entire township, even for the private road, and they didn't know the answer to that either. I'm hoping they say no, because the reason they're doing it is they want all the roads that they fund upgraded to the high intensity signs. So they are thinking they may not require us to do it the private, but I did have a question on that.
As yet, no. Okay, stay tuned.
Emergency services might want to know.
Right, that's I don't know. Because that's what part of it, you don't know if the emergency services will push for private roads to have them upgraded. But I'm gonna find out.
Okay.
Just a question about the graffiti. Are we seeing an increase over time of more graffiti, or?
Albert's he's gonna give a report on that in a few minutes.
Oh, thank you.
I have the bids here from the Municipal Cooperative of Southern Chester County. The Municipal Cooperative, for anybody who doesn't know, it's a co-op of 5 townships. Kennett Township, East Marlboro, New Garden, Pennsbury, and Copson. And what they do is all 5 townships put out the road materials for bid to save money. Together, yeah. So the first one is for blacktop, and it will be awarded to Independence Construction Materials. The total contract is for $66,805.
Lisa, do you want to take these individually, or do you want to do them as a lump sum?
We can do them as a lump.
Why don't you do them all?
Yeah, do them as a lump. Yeah. We usually do it that way.
The next one is for delivered stone, and that's being awarded to New Enterprise Stone and Lime Company, also doing business as Martin Limestone. The total contract is $20,479. The next contract is line painting, being awarded to Alpha Space Control, and the total contract is $19,740.14.
Excuse me, does that include any stop bars?
Yes.
Okay.
1,156 linear feet. The next one's for road oils, and that's being awarded to Asphalt Industries. And the total amount is $29,960. And the last one is fuels, diesel fuel and low sulfur. That's being awarded to Superior Plus Energy Services. And the total, well, the way this one is written, it's 6,000 gallons, not to exceed 0.2199% above rack for diesel. And for gasoline, it's 5,000 gallons, not to exceed 0.13% above rack. So what they do is, whatever the rack cost is, they submit each township the rack cost, and they can't charge us more than that percentage above it.
I move that we approve all of those contracts as described.
Second.
Any questions from the audience? Yes.
I just had a general question for information. This is 4 townships working together. It's an excellent idea. Does someone take the lead in the negotiations, or do like all 4 parties mutually combine, or how do you do this? It's a wonderful thing.
Right now, it used to be East Marlboro Township handled it all. Now Kennett Township does. So in our office, we handle all the bidding. Our roadmaster and Megan of our office handle all the. They put all the bids out. They award all the bids. We prepare all the contracts in the township, so one township does all of the work for all the other townships.
They meet here.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
On a monthly basis.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Did
have...
We didn't vote.
Should we vote on this?
Oh, maybe.
I move that we adopt each one of those as presented.
I'll second that motion. Any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
We have 3 requests for extensions, Mr. Chairman. The Case property until May 17, Novak until April 15, and the Granite Ridge until June 12th. I move we approve all 3 extensions.
I'll second that.
Question?
I vote in favor.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay, I think that's all we have. Now, what?
I'll move that we pay the bills too.
I'll second that.
Albert, I think you had something you
Well,
wanted to say.
graffiti came
Wait,
up.
hold on one second.
Yeah.
Wait 1 second.
I'm sorry. We can talk about it. It's not
I
important.
just want to explain something.
Okay.
Granite Ridge has final approval.
Yes,
They have not had their plan signed yet,
I understand.
so we need an extension.
Oh, okay.
Albert?
Okay, I'll mention graffiti. I shouldn't need a microphone. Graffiti is something that occurs, that primarily occurs in Delaware, but it comes up Route 82 and across the southern end of the township. But graffiti, as we learned in Kennett Square years ago, and based on something we learned in Center City, New York, was that the faster it is removed, the groups don't get to champion it. In fact, in Kennett Square, we required an ordinance that says the property owner has 24 hours to remove, which the township passed here also. Now, it seems like you're penalizing the property owner, but it's really important that we get this off right away. One of the things we've seen happen in the past several weeks is these groups championing. There's either the blue for a reason, or there's the red for a reason, or it might even be a neutral. And the roadmaster has been helping me take this off as soon as possible based on signs, traffic signs. And then there's been a few senior citizens that I helped paint the side of their garage because they can't do it, and we need to get it off as soon as possible. Now, we haven't caught anybody yet. A few years ago, we caught people with paint cans. And believe it or not, paint batch, each batch is different because it doesn't have to be that exacting. That's why you get variation in your spray cans. And we caught them with the cans in Delaware, determined those cans were just used in York Lynn. So we had to do the court proceeding with them. This past 10 days on I changed the hours of the police department based on what's occurring. We stopped the car for a traffic reason, and they had spray on their fingers. No paint in the car, we couldn't tell what they did, but they had spray on their fingers, and if anybody's ever used spray paint, you know you get a little paint on your fingers. But we also haven't had any since that stuff, so we don't know. We just have to really stay on top of it. Thank you.
Did you want to say anything else, or no?
No, the other thing is the unlocked cars. The unlocked cars that have gone through in the township, that's a relatively new crime. It's not, new in the last 5 years. People all of a sudden realize they can go through neighborhoods and just go into unlocked cars. They remove the change up until they usually get about $100, then they go get their heroin fix. We thought this was isolated to Pennsbury, Kennett, New Garden, and London Grove. Although there was a meeting last week with all the police departments in the county, because it appears to be a crime that occurs all over the whole county. So again, we have to stay on top of that one, the way you catch that, and we have in the past. There's people walking around in the middle of the night that shouldn't be. So far,
I can't believe when you read in the paper about somebody going into somebody's car, leaving your car unlocked and your pocketbook in the car, or packages. That's stupidity on the owner.
Laptops? Well, people feel, this area, the world's changed in the last 5 years, but for years you could leave your car and leave anything in. Leaving the big screen TV, now that was one they shouldn't have done. That thing
There was also, I believe, very much unfortunately, on Hoehle Road, was it yesterday?
Old
there was-
Kennett Road.
Oh,
Kennett,
Old
there was
Kennett.
a fatality.
Yeah.
Most unfortunate.
Just a minute on Hoehle Road. Hoehle Road is a road that we've been on for years. Bob Haneker and I worked with it. We got it resurfaced by PennDOT, and we got it tar and chipped. We got the rumble strips, and it never was posted on for speed. So all that occurred by the township's efforts with PennDOT in the last 5 years. We had PennDOT recently survey it again, because we were seeing an increase of accidents at Chandler Mill. Well, they came out, tested the surface, and then they said, you do your own, slam the brakes on, because before you could spin the car about 90 degrees. Now you can't. So it's not the road surface. I am reviewing the state police accidents, but it appears to be speed.
I just have a question. I live on South Fairville Road. We walk all the roads in that
South
area.
Woodward?
Fairville
Yes.
Road. We've had a huge number of beer cans on the side of the road lately, which just, I'm an old trauma critical care nurse. It terrifies
Do you know why you have beer cans on the road, particularly after the weekend? Because
Yeah.
if a underage drinker gets caught with that beer can, even if it's empty, he gets charged and he loses his license. So the first thing he's going to do with that beer can is
pitch it.
pitch it.
We saw you coming down our road today, and I thank you for that. And I think increased police presence will curb
It
that.
does help. But the township gave me another man, but we're still stretching. Sure.
Hey, any other comments, criticisms, accolades, preferably?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we solicit those out, like, yeah.
We have some bills to pay, which we will do very shortly, and I move we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? We are. Thank you all for coming.